Hi, welcome back to my channel. I have a really good book to talk to you about today, and it is The Librarian Spy by Madeline Martin. Now, we have two women in this book, and if you look at the cover, which I'm putting up, you see a blonde and you see a brunette. What you have is you have Ava in Lisbon, and you have Elaine in occupied France. I don't know why I said France. And Ava's job as a librarian at the Library of Congress was really a good job. Quiet life, nothing really to complain about, working in New York City. But she was brought to Lisbon, Portugal, with a mission, continuing to act as a librarian. Really? No, to pose as a librarian, but while doing so, working undercover as a spy. Yeah, she went from a librarian in New York to an undercover spy in Lisbon, Portugal. Now, remember I said there was two women in this book. We have Elaine. Now, Elaine is in occupied France, as I've already said, and what she's doing is she's running a printing press that is being filled with coded messages, and these coded messages help her in her job working for the resistance. Okay, now I love this book because when Elaine was working one job, she was offered this other job, and she was warned, you're going to be the only woman. Okay, but code breaking, code making, or however you want to refer to it, was a very, very refined skill, and Elaine excelled at this skill, so she was brought into this. Now, it wasn't easy for either of them because, like I said, for Ava, she left the comforts of New York and now she's in Lisbon, contacted by the U.S. military. And one of the reasons is the fact that she was multilingual. Okay, so being recruited to work in Portugal would give her a way to help in the war effort. Now, Elaine Rousseau, her job was a little harder because, first of all, she had a bit of claustrophobia. And when she takes on this new job, she finds herself pretty much working underground with these other coders. And that was very, very, very terrifying for her. And something else that was hard for Elaine. Her husband, Joseph, had been arrested, and therefore she had to change her name and was hoping to find Joseph. Now, before her husband was arrested, Elaine wanted to work for the resistance, and he fought her at it. He said no, he didn't want her involved. Well, not only is she now involved, but as mentioned, he's been arrested. And now she's trying to thwart the Germans any way she can and to help her country, occupied France, to gain her freedom. Now, Ava and Elaine, they don't know each other. They're both working for the same effort, but without knowledge of either one of them having knowledge of the other. And let me tell you, it was a very, 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 very sensitive story because not only were they spying, which is what their jobs were, but they helped as many people as possible. People that were facing arrest or imprisonment or being deported or even killed. This is what they did. So they did what they did in the intelligence area, but like, for example, with Elaine. Okay, let's talk about her for a second. She comes across a Jewish mother and little boy, and she is about to enter into where she's residing one day, and she knows she's not alone. And at first she's terrified. And then when she realizes who it is, it's a woman with a very small child. I think he's 4 years old, 3 or 4 years old at the time. She is less panicked, but now she's wondering what in the world is she going to be able to do. And what happened here is the mother tells her that her and her husband had a chance to escape, but her mother became ill, so her husband went on to America, and she stayed behind to help her mother. And then just before she got to get on a ship to go to America with the little boy to her husband, she had to run from the Germans. And now she's facing death. She's either she has to escape or she's going to die. So Elaine helps her. And the thing that I love about this book coming full circle is this is how this mother and this child was the catalyst in Elaine and Ava crossing paths. Excellent, 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 excellent 5-star book, because both women face loss left and right. Like, I believe Elaine's loss was her brother, and with Ava it was her husband Joseph. Okay, or was it Elaine's husband Joseph? Well, one lost their brother, one lost their husband. So they faced loss left and right. And then they saw what, yes, it was Elaine's husband and Ava's brother. They saw the effect that this war had, and they were able to use their amazing skills to work along with the resistance in order to fight the Germans. Very, 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 very wonderful book by Madeline Martin. Very emotional, very, very strong, very, very intense. And I'm telling you, this is a book that, you have these erudite women who played such a big role in this war. And I think it was an excellent book. Highly recommended. In fact, I read a book by Madeline Martin last year, and it was called, I think it was The Last Bookshop in London. So I like the fact that she's using women that are very, very, very smart in her books. Sorry, my cats make noise over there. So I'm telling you, read this book if you want a little bit of perspective on World War II and how these women worked. One worked in Portugal, one worked for, in Paris for the French resistance. And, well, she actually worked in I'm going to say Lyon, but I think it's Leon, if you pronounce it the French way. And what this book did show, I just want to mention one more thing. It showed exceptional research. And the thing that where you can see Madeline Martin's exceptional research was the way that when they produced the coding, when the coding came through, it could have come through in a newspaper, it could have come through in the pages of a book. And then the person on the other side had to decipher that code. And this is how they worked with the resistance. I loved it. I love learning about this time in history, this tragic, terrible, terrible time in history. Yet, when you have authors that work hard at presenting this to us in this fashion, it makes it something very, very intriguing. So that is The Librarian by Ava and Elaine, and I hope that you read this book. And I'm just scrolling back to see, I think it's probably, I know it's on Amazon, but I'm not sure if it's on, oh yeah, it's on Amazon because it's a Hanover Square Press, $12.99, or you can get an Audible book credit. But don't hesitate to check out your library because you might be able to get it there too. So thank you for watching. Bye-bye.